Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. So, we're still in the tutorial. There we go. To decrease your hunger, you will need to feed. Whenever you see a feeding opportunity, you can take the risk to hunt and slake your hunger. Okay.
Interesting.
You will need to keep the hunger at bay if you are to uphold the masquerade and survive the nights that await you. Is that just going automatically?
Yeah.
You open your eyes. The bed isn't warm. The room is filled with artificial light from the ceiling. The solid metal door is closed. Normally you'd stretch for a bit. On some mornings you'd probably throw the quilt over yourself and snooze a moment longer. But that was before. The way you woke up now, you are fully conscious. No grogginess. Nothing weighing you down. Just the nagging need in the back of your head. Hunger. Not as severe as the last time, but unmistakably there. You get up and open the door to the main room. A digital clock on the TV shows you the time. 9:04 p.m. You walk over to the blinds and retract them cautiously. The only light coming in is NYC's artificial nighttime luminescence. So that's what your waking hours are going to look like now. You miss the sunlight already. You're seriously considering just walking out of the apartment and figuring this out by yourself. But then you come back to the memory of Kadir's exotic sword being raised in the gallery. Maybe sticking around isn't that bad of an idea after all. You keep jumping channels for around half an hour and then switch to streaming services, almost as if the universe has a sense of irony. You catch True Blood in the flood of recommendations. Okay,
Well,
that's...
also,
Huh?
now
What?
vampires can do drugs, but if it's ingested, they have to drink the blood of someone who took the drug.
Okay,
You pretty
but...
much pay someone to do the drug, and then you drink their blood.
Okay, but what about diabetes, though? You didn't...
I forgot to ask about diabetes. Give me a moment.
Hold on, I'm gonna ask him.
Okay.
Okay. There. The doorbell rings. It's Sophie. Good evening, Jerricola. Slept well? God, my name is not fucking mysterious or cool. Like a dead man. It's not exactly sleep, right? It's not really like normal sleep, is it? I suppose it isn't. Some say it's more like being dead, but we wouldn't know, would we? It's no use reflecting on it anyway. Except that this is who you are now. You made the right choice yesterday. I can teach you many things about yourself. Your blood, its desires, and its power. We'll begin tonight. You are hungry, yes? I'm sure you are. Our kind always is. There's only one remedy, the blood. The drinks we had yesterday at Elysium are not the usual way you slake your thirst. Place where vampires may gather without fear of harm. Court functions in Elysium is strictly kept apart from mortals, surrounded by secrecy, but the Elysium building itself could be a public museum, a gallery, or club. Berghain is an anarch Elysium. The Louvre is a Camarilla Elysium. Oh, that's cool.
Interesting.
So, tonight I will assist you in your first foray into hunting. You need to learn to sense the kind of blood you desire, to learn how you can use the kind's vulnerabilities to your advantage. Predator and prey, huh? Grim. So let me get this straight. We are predators, humans are prey? That's pretty grim. I know what you feel. I remember the notion. But you will, inevitably, grow beyond it. You need blood to thrive, but there are many ways to take it. Some more humane than others, like working at a blood bank. You will find that drinking moderate amounts of it regularly will keep the hunger and the whispers of the beast away. You might think yourself monstrous, but there is a balance to be found here. The kiss gives the kind pleasure. You might... Oh, some can even be I can't read! Some can even become addicted to the sensation. But if you do it right, they tend to misremember your feeding. An act of drinking blood, usually from the mortal. The kiss causes feelings of ecstasy in those who receive it.
Well then.
After all, vampires do not exist. They are myths, fairy tales, and pop culture mainstays, correct? She gives you a sly, knowing smile. That is why the masquerade is so important, and even more crucial when you feed. How do you avoid being seen while feeding? You isolate your prey, or you choose the right circumstances. People tend to avert their gaze when they see a couple intertwined in public. Love bites are easy to explain away. Some of us keep willing herds, or even just individual kind, who desire the kiss. That comes at a higher risk these nights, though, so I would not recommend it to a young kindred like yourself. Feeding from the same area repeatedly can be dangerous, but by branching out you risk the ire of other kindred on whose domains you trespass. Luckily for you, NYC is more forgiving in this regard. New York is in somewhat of a unique position. Many of its neighborhoods remain uncontested or unclaimed. The reason for this is a lesson for another time, but keep the following in mind. Take opportunities to feed when they present themselves these upcoming nights. As long as you hunt cautiously and respect the masquerade at all times, you should be fine. To wit, I want you to join me for a trip tonight. Come downstairs. Gregory is waiting for us. The busy streets fill the air with traffic noise, goddammit, pedestrian chatter, and a mix of smells that disorient you momentarily. These warm bodies contain what you want. What you need. You catch yourself. Did you really just think of these people as mere sources of blood? It takes a nudge from Sophie to break her train of thought. Her driver opens the door for her, then tips his hat to you, gesturing to the back of the car. The car casually joins the somewhat thin New York traffic. It's still busy in a way only one of the biggest cities in the world can be. But compared to the daytime commute, it's a pleasant drive. You barely have the time to gather your thoughts and formulate new questions before the car comes to a stop. You're among the tall skyscrapers that make up Manhattan's iconic skyline. Come, Jerricola. Park the car, Gregory, will you? The driver just nods, and Sophie gets out. You join her, and the two of you walk through the glass doors together, then take the elevator up. You first notice an empty stage with the instruments of a string quartet still in the back. Then take in the few dozen chairs behind you. The concert seeming concluded, the patrons, all smartly dressed and posh, have spread out over the hall. Sophie strides confidently inside, produces an invitation from her purse that she flashes in front of the security guard. You follow close and are let through without issue. Let's start easy. A social setting like this one would usually provide quite challenging to an inexperienced kindred. Prove, yes, sir. But consider this evening a small gift from your patron. I'm hoping to procure for you a willing vessel. Just remember what I told you about taking small sips. This one I have a soft spot for. Don't damage her. Now let's see here. Ah, there he is. She notices somebody in the crowd, flashes a heart-melting smile, and suddenly, even you feel drawn to her. You haven't thought about it before, but it's laid clear before you in this moment. Sophie is beautiful. Just looking at her is a privilege. Just being with her makes you feel elated. Oh, we got a response from Dainty! Okay, so she says, I don't think so, since their body would still alive for them to affect them. If there's still if there's a physical disability, like a lost eye, clubbed foot you had as a human, then it would affect the vampire. But if you drank from a human that had disease, though, it wouldn't affect you. You'd become a plague bearer, and you could be hunted for it. Interesting. So, if you have diabetes and turn into a vampire, you're just cured.
We found the cure for most anything, Jay.
Edgar, I'm so happy to see you. How is your daughter? Is she with you? Oh, there she is. Julie, my girl, come over, please. There's somebody I'd like you to meet. The young woman who walks across the hall can't be more than 19 years old. It's clear from her mismatched earrings and partially faded purple hair that she doesn't fit this crowd. Julie, this is Jerricola. I think the two of you should get acquainted while I talk business with your dad. Awfully boring stuff, I assure you. I'm positive you'll like each other. The girl gives you a shy smile and nods toward the balcony stairs. You follow, somewhat unsure what is exactly Sophie expects you to do. You reach a secluded space from the entire lobby, from which the entire lobby is visible. All eyes are on Sophie. They listen intently, then laugh when she does. Julie saves you the trouble of figuring out the next step. You want to be her?
Sure. Yeah, if you're a Sophie, then I guess you're I mean that you know, morgued.
She puts her wrist to her lips and gives herself a theatrical nip, then looks at you, embarrassed, but also hopeful. Rule number one is don't give away the masquerade, but she already knows, so...
Well, up to you. But I would say I don't know what you're talking about, because that just seems funny.
You know what? Full honesty, fuck it. Yes, I do. She takes off her jacket, unbuttons her sleeve, then rolls up. You see a tattoo of a cat in an astronaut suit, one feline eye winking at you.
Damn it, why don't we get to see that? Or is that it on
Yeah, it's right there. That's the cat tattoo.
That is adorable.
I like it. Go ahead.
There, just enjoy.
A perfectly awkward smile and a blush.
Yeah.
I mean...
She offered.
You take her forearm in your hands. Quick look around confirms nobody's watching, and no security cameras cover this area. You bite down, gently. It's surreal. She's just given you blood of her own volition. How is this possible? What about the masquerade? You need to ask Sophie. Your thoughts disappear amid the bliss. It's just the taste. Sweet, fresh, sanguine. You drink. And drink. And drink. No, stop, stop, stop! You tear away from the girl harder than you wanted. Still, the bite just leaves tiny punctures. Almost by instinct, you lick them clean. And the two holes become concealed. Just like that.
Interesting.
Julie is now leaning on the wall. Pale, wobbly on her feet. But happy? She lets out a dreamy sigh. Opens her eyes. A few tears fall onto her shirt. Tears of joy.
Thank you. Please, can you walk me downstairs, please? My dad, he doesn't know, since it's a condition. This time they told him so.
She leans on you and requests you walk her over to a bench. She takes a seat and smiles at you. The crowd around Sophie disperses slowly, looking at her now. Only some residual awe hangs in the air. Yes, she's pretty. Maybe even beautiful, sure, but not your type. What came over you before? That is called a glamour, my friend. You walk over to her. So, Edgar dear, it was just splendid talking to you, but we need to get going. Give Julie my best wishes. Come with, Jerricola. Gregory is waiting for you out front. It's only in the car that Sophie addresses you. I can tell from your look that you took the opportunity. Good for you. That girl's exquisite, don't you think? You wouldn't tell by her demeanor, but she has so much passion. She brings out a unique bouquet in the blood.
Interesting.
I mean, she knows who we
so
are.
Being passionate which makes your blood taste different.
I guess it's the same with animals, you know, like a vibrant life leads to better quality. I think she knows who we are. That's not normal, right? It's not usual. That much is true. But don't worry. She will do anything I tell her to, and won't say anything to anyone that I haven't put in her pretty head first. Time for the next stop. Training wheels off. This time, Gregory. Oh, training wheels off this time. Gregory, Flushing Meadows, please. The driver takes the car over Williamsburg Bridge. You settle your thoughts. What'd you do to the people back there? Those people back at the hall, they were all entranced. Even I was under your spell. What was that? She smiles with satisfaction. That old trick? Just the blood doing my bidding. We all have our talents. Some of them come from the legacy we inherit from our sire. Others can be learned with experience. I can sway people or make them fear me. I see more of the world and in greater detail than some kindred. I can will my body to move with unparalleled precision and grace, and more. All of these skills make me who I am. They also help me hunt.
What are my powers?
What are my... yeah. Okay, so what are my talents? Time will tell. You need to discover them yourself. When we arrive, experiment. Give different things a try. Follow your instinct and intuition. It will guide the blood. Always keep the masquerade in mind, however. It's all fine if you can disappear in plain sight or command animals with your mind. But save those overt talents for the right place and time. It only takes you half an hour to reach the park at this time of night. Both you and Sophie leave the car, with Gregory left behind again to find a parking spot and keep an eye on the car. Sophie seems deep in thought. She takes in the surroundings with a dreamy gaze. The sky is surprisingly clear tonight. The stars just barely visible in the light-polluted aura of the city. I feel like having a snack myself. I'll be by the fountain. Go, look for somebody to your liking. See what effects you can achieve with your blood. But only pick one victim. Just one, then come back. Seeing how she seems not altogether here right now, you decide to leave Sophie to her own devices and seek out your prey. From here, it looks like you have a few choices. Just taking a stroll around the park and finding an isolated jogger or someone like them could work, but focusing on one area might work better. The New York State Pavilion might work as a secluded spot. There's a skate park nearby, and worst case scenario, there's bound to be some unfortunate wino around. Or maybe the tennis court's nearby? There's light coming from there, so somebody might still be playing a late night match. They won't be alone, but they might get tired and let their guard down. As this scenario is played out in your mind, you realize you're planning how to assault a stranger in the middle of the night. It's a weird way to be.
Is it assault?
Hey, yes. More or less, yes. But the now familiar hunger prompts you to act. Oh, shit!
So
okay.
You want to look for a jogger? Do you want to go to the tennis courts?
I mean...
hunt in the decrepit pavilion?
Maybe this is just morality speaking, but I'd probably try to get, like, a mugger or something, you know, but that's not always the case. You can't always play the superhero. Sometimes...
Yep.
You just gotta make do. So, okay, let's see. Pavilion, wino and skate park, jogger in the park.
You wander around, look for a jogger, go to the pavilion.
We could probably look around the park, find somebody, you know. Maybe there is a chance we'll get a mugger.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I don't know, you think we should just search around?
I'm curious about the pavilion myself, but...
Alright, we'll try the pavilion. Well, I want you to have some agency in this as well, because, you know, you're part of this having some fun. You make your way to one of the park's most well-known landmarks, the round skeleton of New York State Pavilion, with its two vaguely futuristic-looking towers. You don't get lucky with the skate park. It's not deserted. Instead, a group of skaters is gathered there, talking loudly and listening to music, playing out of crackling smartphone speakers. Deciding to have a quick look around, you identify a potential victim. A sleeping bag lady, leaned back on a bench, a shopping cart full of what looks like trash nearby. One of these might be the right opportunity to take.
So if we were too hungry, we wouldn't be able to go there, because we wouldn't be able to do that.
Should we try to... I don't want to feed on
a
homeless person. That's mean.
That's the easy option there.
You want to try one of the skaters, see if we have the power of presence?
Power of presence?
I don't fucking know. I'm doing it.
Oh, I think this is more just that you're, like, in your right mind currently.
Like, the whole
like
point of this was to test and do an ability, not just get an easy meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think back to what Sophie did in the hall, how she managed to focus the attention of the entire gathering on her. That might be a tall order for you, but a single person could be doable. You single out a guy who's talking on his phone away from the gathering. He's having a heated discussion with somebody. A relative? A partner? It's not going well. You want to be...
This talk's over. I said shut the fuck up. Hey, you hearing me? Shut up. Call me when you get some fucking sense in your stupid brain, okay?
He ends the call abruptly and almost throws the phone to the ground in frustration. Damn it! Alright, that's all the time we have for today. Well, thanks for
I'm
watching,
liking
and we'll
the drums
see you
here.
later.
Adios.